Do you spend weeks or months to learn a new skill and after a period of time you realize you don't even understand what you were learning? You have actually watched the tutorials, you have followed the steps, but something is not clicking. In this video, I'm actually going to explain you the 5-step framework that is helping me to learn and understand any skill fast, even as a complete beginner. These steps will take you from stuck in learning to learning any skills fast. But before we get there, let's understand something very important. Picture this for a second. Let's say you are learning how to build a website. So you follow the tutorials. You take hours to actually build the website, but after you launch it, it is not working. So you go back, you add some things, and you try it again, and it's still broken. Now you go back again and you still repeat the process of keep adding things and you still keep having the same result. It's not working. Now, if you keep doing the same thing over and over, you still keep having the same results, which is not working. So if you want to go for a website which is not working to a website that is working, you will have to pause for a second. Don't quit, just pause and ask yourself a very simple question. What exactly am I doing wrong? Because until you understand the mistakes you have been making, you will keep having the same results over and over. And when you finally see the mistake, that is when everything starts working and improving. Now, here is where it actually gets very interesting because most people never do this, which is why they spend months learning a new skill and they still feel stuck in one position. So before I show you the 5-step framework, let's first break down the biggest mistake people are making when they are trying to learn any new skill. So you don't actually waste your time and at the end you don't have anything to show for it. The biggest mistake beginners make when trying to learn a new skill. The first mistake is watching too many tutorials. Now I understand when you are trying to learn a new skill, it is very important to watch tutorials. But don't make it as a habit that you need to watch all the tutorials available to be able to learn, or that the little tutorials that you have available is not enough for you. Don't make that as a habit when you're trying to learn any new skill. Now, if you do so, you will keep searching new tutorials and keep telling yourself that you are actually learning. But in reality, you are just consuming content. You are not actually building because you always be stuck at this step of always searching for the next best tutorial. And now, here is actually where it gets worse. You keep waiting until you understand everything before you actually start working, which leads to the second problem, which is perfectionism. Here, you want your first attempt to be very polished, clean, and very, very perfect. So this keep pushing you to keep looking and searching for endless tutorials. And at the end, you actually delay starting and you start procrastinating. This is what is actually killing your speed and you end up stuck in one position. But don't worry, in the next section, I'm going to actually explain to you how I overcome all these mistakes and how you can use it, implement it in yourself when learning any new skill so you can learn it faster. The fast learning system. In this section, we are going to break down 5 steps that will take you from always stuck when learning a skill to learning and understanding any skill fast. Step 1, choose just one tool. When starting to learn any particular skill, you are usually flooded with many tools that do the same thing. For example, if you want to learn video editing, you are going to be presented with tools like DaVinci Resolve, CapCut, Premiere Pro. So I will advise you choose just one tool and you go all in it. Stop jumping from one tool to another. It only makes you waste time and you end up doing nothing meaningful. In my case, I started learning DaVinci Resolve and I later switched to CapCut. I'm going to make a separate video why I switched. So in your case, you can actually test the tools and see what you are actually comfortable working with. And after you choose the tool you are comfortable with, you go all in just on that particular tool. And later, if you want to take this to the next level and broaden your skill and your capabilities, then you can start learning different tools after perfecting on a single tool. This will just help to widen your capabilities so you can actually get things done in different ways And also, if you want to make money, then it's good to learn different tools. This is because you can work with a client and the client says, I want only somebody that's using DaVinci Resolve or CapCut or Premiere Pro, and you will not let that money go. You actually get it. So just to let you know that I am a video editor, and if you want me to edit your videos, then my contacts will be in the description. Step 2, learn just enough. In this step, just learn only the fundamentals that will actually get you comfortable to start. That's why in my case, when I'm actually doing a research on YouTube to learn any particular new skill, when I see short videos of 3 to 5 minutes, I tend to skip those videos. I only tend to go for longer videos that have 15, 30 minutes or even hours long. This is because these 3 to 5 short minute videos will only show me how to do a particular thing in that tool, which is not usually what I want at this my learning stage. This is because what I am looking at this level of my learning process is to understand all the fundamentals of that particular tool, how the tool works, how I can freely navigate myself in the tool without following somebody, just to understand the interface, understand everything about the tool. And these short videos are not going to give me that. And later in the video, I'm going to tell you when I actually start watching these short 3 to 5 minute tutorial videos. It is also very important, but at the right time. So keep watching so you don't miss that part. Now, when I talk about fundamentals, I simply means the things you cannot do without when actually doing any particular skill. So do a quick search and understand the fundamentals that you need in any skills that you want to learn. For example, in video editing, you can actually do without all this fancy animation or these fancy text effects, but you can't do without splitting your clip, deleting silence, and joining the clip together and combining to flow naturally. You can't do with that. In fact, when they talk of video editing, that is the basic. That is what they are talking about. So in your case, depending on the skill you want to learn, just learn the fundamentals that will get you comfortable to start. No advanced trick, no fancy technique, just the foundation. Because the faster you start, the faster you improve. And that leads us to the next most important step, which is step 3, practice immediately. This is actually where most people fail. They learn, but they don't do. Or in the worst case scenario, they delay doing. But to actually learn and understand any new skill fast, it means you have to do repetitive practice. You don't learn a skill by just consuming information. No, it does not work like that. In my case, here is what I actually do that will help me start practicing immediately and learn any skill fast, which is I practice along with the tutorial. Here is actually my position when I'm learning any new skill. I have my phone where I'm watching directly the tutorials and my laptop where I am executing the tutorials. At this point, I'm learning only the fundamentals, which I have already explained in the previous step. Additionally, after the tutorial, I now get a real video and start practicing what I have learned. I had told you earlier that I was going to tell you when I start watching these 3 to 5 minutes short tutorial videos when I am actually learning any new skill. Now here is where I actually do it. And here is where you can start learning those fancy animation and those cool effects, because we all need it when we are actually doing the skill that we are learning. For example, if I want to put a text behind a person, this is when I'll go to YouTube and search directly for that, how to put text behind someone in CapCut or in DaVinci Resolve. So specific to that particular tutorial. I just want to know only that. And that is when you also actually see me, like I've done with my laptop now like this. I write some specific things that I need to do or some keyboard shortcuts and just put them and gum them directly on my laptop, such that when I'm using it, if I want to use it, I don't have to go and start looking again for a tutorial to do it or a short key that I've written somewhere very far. I just put it directly on my laptop and I gum it there. So when I'm using it next time, I will just see it and understand how to do it. But now, here is the problem. If you want to actually learn any particular new skill fast, then practicing alone is not enough. You could be repeating the same mistake over and over unless you do this next step. Step 4, get feedback fast. Feedback is your shortcut to actually learning anything fast. Instead of just wondering if you are doing something wrongly, it tells you exactly what to fix or what to improve. Without it, you are just guessing, and with it, you are actually accelerating and learning faster. And in this digital age, getting feedback is very easy. In my case, I join online communities based on what I am actually learning, and I post my work on it, asking for reviews, feedback, or how I can improve. But if you overdo this, then you'll be stuck at a step of being unconfident of yourself. Let me actually explain this well in this next step. Step 5, be confident. In your journey to actually learn any new skill fast and understand it, there will come a point in time that you just have to stop watching tutorials or reduce the rate at which you watch them and allow your imagination and creativity to be able to build your skill and take it to the next level. I know this might actually sound controversial, but I've actually explained this well in the beginning of the video. If you are learning any new skill and you keep watching tutorials upon tutorials all the time, or you keep asking for feedback and feedback all the time, then your brain will just be kept at that learner stage and you will never be confident enough to actually progress. Please like the video and share it to someone who might find it helpful. So these are the steps I use when I'm learning any new skill to be able to understand it faster. I hope it helps you also. So if you are still watching at this point, then here is a quick bonus for you. If you want to actually learn anything faster, then the best way you can do that is from teaching. When I was in school, my math and science teacher used to always say the best way to understand something is by teaching. That's how when he will explain something and then leave the class, some of us that understood some particular sections, we start explaining it to some people that want to understand. So by teaching, it helps it stick more and you understand better. So I'm not saying you should open a YouTube channel and start teaching. If you can do that, then it is good. But if you cannot, just join communities like I mentioned earlier and just start helping people there with their questions. It will help you to understand more.